Pokémon Horizons episode 92 kept up the insane momentum that was established in the previous two episodes. Like seriously, this one gave us everything. We got huge plot reveals, crazy battles, and a really deep insight into the truth of one character. So today we're gonna review the episode. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button and the subscribe button if you enjoy, and now let's get right into it. The episode began with Liko and Roy looking for a reported Pokemon rampaging from Laqua, and Liko is really nervous to talk to Dot again because it's been a whole year, and that's kinda sweet to see, dude. It reminds us that they are all still young even after the time skip. Dot and Liko greet each other for the first time in a year on video call, and then it's right down to business. If they want to get back the truth of the rising Voltaclers, then they can start by heading to a nearby desert. Meanwhile, Naruto finally finds Roy again, but he panics and hides because Roy's with a girl, and this really made me laugh so much, dude. Naruto really is adding so much needed comedy and goofiness to this arc. He's a great addition in that way. It might feel a bit too serious without him being here. Our heroes and their Pokemon begin searching the desert for the rampaging Pokemon, and I have to say right off the bat that this episode truly felt like they took all the criticisms on board. The criticisms about Liko and Roy's secondary Pokemon never getting screen time, and they actually fixed it, dude, and kept them present and important for the whole episode. This was so awesome, and I really hope it continues in the future. I need a Sun and Moon kind of vibe, where they're like one big family always out of their Pokeballs, you know? Liko is impressed by how independent and confident Roy is now, leading the investigation with ease, and while they search, Liko and Dot talk about how much nostalgia they have for their time traveling in Paldea a year ago, and man, this felt like such a realistic conversation that two people would have after not seeing each other for a year. Really awesome writing, dude. Liko and Roy find pink mist nearby, which Dot calls the Laqueum signs, and this seems to be signaling that a Pokemon here is infected by it. And Naruto is still secretly following them, but he accidentally falls into a big pit, and this angers a huge Laqueum-infected Steelix, causing it to burst out of the ground and attack our heroes. Our heroes are ready to fight, realizing that the Steelix is the reported Pokemon, but every single time they attack, Steelix easily dives underground and dodges. Roy then has the bright idea to use Lucario's aura to sense where Steelix is underground so they can hit it easier when it pops up. And can I just say that I'm already obsessed with Roy having a Lucario. I know a lot of people really hate it, but I'm sorry, I just think it's the coolest thing ever, man. Seeing Roy and Lucario not holding back from using their aura powers so casually in such cool and interesting ways is so awesome. It can add so much potential to both battle and non-battle settings, you know? I imagine the writers are probably scared of overdoing it, but I genuinely welcome it. Lucario senses Steelix aura underground, then it hits it hard with close combat when it pops up, and then Zygarde follows up with a powerful flower trick. But to everyone's shock, Steelix stays standing. Dot then really shows off her new Oracle Mastermind role by guiding Liko and Roy, becoming the real strategist that she's always been working up towards. She tells Liko and Roy that Steelix's defense stat is far too high, so because of that they should focus on special attacks like Crocolore's super effective flamethrower. I can't believe we're getting like defense and special defense brought up in the anime. Is so dope. It feels so technical, you know? So Dot tells them exactly what to do. They need to make an opening for Crocolore to hit hard. Lucario uses his aura to sense where Steelix will pop out, and that allows Zygarde to hold Steelix in place with her vine. Crocolore and Kilowattrel close in to attack, but then Steelix tries a smackdown to stop them. Luckily though, Hattrem is there in a supportive role using confusion to stop the rocks, and then Cap smashes them to pieces with Thunder Punch, creating an opening. Steelix tries to use the distraction to burrow underground again, but luckily Crocolore and Kilowattrel are close enough now to use Disarming Voice and Uproar into the hole. Steelix is blasted out, taking big damage, and then Crocolore is about to finish the job with a super effective flamethrower. But then suddenly another Steelix appears out of nowhere, smacking down Kilowattrel and Crocolore hard, shocking everyone. And because Smackdown grounds flying type Pokemon, this allows the Steelix to use a Laqueum infused Sand Tomb, doing unimaginable damage to Kilowattrel and Crocolore, trapping them too. Before we continue though, let me just say this entire sequence was genuinely incredible, dude. The way it featured all of our heroes' Pokemon battling together in such a fun and strategic way was so cool. This is what I want from Pokémon Horizons. I want all their Pokemon to be involved. I want them to feel like a team, a family. That opens up so many fun battle possibilities. I really hope this is how a lot of battles are handled in the future as well. So both of the Steelix are rampaging and hitting everyone over and over and over, but then when Steelix appears behind Zygarde about to destroy her, it's suddenly hit hard by a random power gem spam. It's Naruto and Naruto's Sableye revealing themselves and wanting to help. So both Roy and Naruto decide to Mega Evolve their Pokemon, and the animation goes so hard just like last time. Mega Sableye and Mega Lucario are ready to finish this, and Liko is stunned because she's never seen Mega Evolution before. Lucario effortlessly begins beating up Steelix with Metal Claw in close combat, and Sableye blocks some attacks with a shield and then hits a Confuse Ray, causing Steelix to fall into its own sand tomb, and then Sableye pelts it with Power Gems. Roy and Naruto then get their Pokemon to stand together, luring in the two Steelix, and then they jump out of the way at the last second so the two Steelix smash into Sableye's shield. This causes a huge explosion that hits them with unimaginable force. That was a really cool strategy, man. Such an interesting way to use Sableye's shield. The shield took so much of an impact that it shrinks down into a tiny crystal, and then Sableye catches it and eats it, reverting to its regular form. This was the coolest, most unique transition out of Mega Evolution that I've ever seen. It adds so much charm and personality, I loved it. If Sableye wasn't already in my top 5 favourite Pokemon ever, then this might have persuaded me to put it there. But luckily that little gremlin is already up there, man. Because of all the damage the Steelix have taken, the two Steelix are then overcome by the Laqua. They're fully taken over by it, and they begin attacking each other violently and brutally. This scene is honestly so heartbreaking, man. The Laqua has taken them over to such an extreme that their mind is just violence, even against their friends. They can't even tell friend from foe anymore. And the sad music really tugged on my heartstrings too. This is the reality of how heartbreaking and damaging Laqua can be. This is exactly the reality that Lucius was scared of. This was what he was trying to stop. Imagine a world where this Laqua affects everyone. It would genuinely be a world of violence and brutality. And it's clear that Liko, with her goal of wanting to understand Pokemon's feelings and emotions, she's especially destroyed by watching this. She looks heartbroken. Liko emotionally dashes towards them, begging them to stop. But then in their rampage, they're about to crush Liko. But luckily, Pagogo suddenly launches out of his Pokeball for the first time in a year. Pagogo forms a shield and saves Liko's life. It then transforms into its Terra form, absorbing all of the Laqua from the Steelix, saving them. Liko is so happy and hugs Pagogo so tightly, so relieved he's okay. Man, this scene was special. I'm absolutely obsessed with the fact that every single time Terrapagos finally reawakens from a long slumber, it's always to save Liko's life. It happened in this episode, and back in episode 1 too when they first met. Terrapagos really is bonded to Liko on such a deep level that sensing her in danger is enough to reawaken it every time. I love that. Urito is really confused by Terrapagos, and then Liko and Urito meet properly with Liko thanking him. Urito is very clearly awkward talking to a girl, trying to play it cool, but kind of failing at it and just coming across weird, and it's really hard to tell whether this is just Urito being young and bad at talking to girls, or whether he's maybe a little bit jealous of Liko's bond with Roy. It could be both, to be honest. But then in my favourite scene in the whole episode, Urito's Sableye sees Pagogo, and as I'm sure you guys know, the Sableye species are known for eating gems and crystals. So Sableye sees Pagogo as an all-you-can-eat crystal feast. It lunges at Pagogo trying to eat its crystal body, and it's genuinely hilarious with our heroes trying to pull them apart. It really is scenes like this that make the anime so special, you know? We don't really see things like this in the games, how random Pokemon would interact, and it really adds so much more to the series and the Pokemon. I don't know, man, it makes me happy. Afterwards, Roy and Naruto then explain Mega Evolution to Liko with help from a Nidothing livestream, and Naruto mentions how Roy left him behind again a couple of episodes ago, but Roy very quickly brushes it off. Then Naruto begins an over-the-top spiel to Liko about his passion for the Black Rayquaza, but Roy suddenly grabs Liko's wrist, probably making the Liko-Roy shippers happy, and he pulls her away without Naruto noticing, trying to get away from him. As they leave, Roy tells Liko that Naruto can get annoying and they can't let him get tangled up in their journey, and shortly after, Naruto realizes they left him behind again. And if I'm honest, man, this entire episode really made me feel a lot of sympathy for Naruto. Don't get me wrong, he is Chaos Incarnate, but it's quite clear that deep down he just wants to be close with Roy. He wants to join him and be by his side and help him out, probably because he looks up to Roy. Roy is older and stronger and more experienced and more mature, and Naruto probably doesn't have many friends, so I bet he follows Roy around and doesn't know how to act around him for that reason. That's why he sometimes comes across a little annoying or abrasive. But deep down, down he means well, he just wants to be alongside Roy. But Roy doesn't see that, he just keeps leaving Naruto behind. And obviously that doesn't mean that Roy is a bad person. I'm sure Roy just doesn't want to get Naruto tangled up in all the Laqua stuff. But he is being a little bit dismissive of who Naruto is beneath the surface. I really hope that eventually our heroes can let Naruto join them. I feel bad if Naruto is lonely and just awkwardly trying to make friends, you know? I hope Roy doesn't keep leaving him behind, because if he continues doing it over and over, then it will get to the point where it does hurt Naruto, especially after he literally saved him today. But hey, I love it when characters have flaws to overcome and develop from, so maybe Roy being slightly dismissive to Naruto, and then gradually realizing this and growing to become a better person, that could be really cool actually. I would welcome it, dude. The episode then ended with Konya and Zir talking to Hamba. It's revealed that 1 year ago at Laqua, Amethio was separated from them and he hasn't been seen ever since. This is just like what happened with Friede, dude. I can't believe it. Amethio has been missing for a year too. And that really makes me think that Friede and Amethio probably survived together. And now they could be off on a mission together to stop Spinel. That would be such a perfect evolution of their rivalry in early Horizons, and I really hope it happens. Hamba reveals that Spinel lied about Amethio to the world, telling everyone that Amethio betrayed Gibeon, and then both Amethio and Gibeon died in Laqua. But luckily, Hamba, Zir, Konya, and Amethio's father, Crave, don't believe these lies. And then in a scene that absolutely shocked me, Hamba suddenly places a Zygarde cube on the table, dude. This is the first time a Zygarde cube, which was introduced in Pokemon Sun and Moon, has ever appeared in the anime. And for those who don't know, a Zygarde cube is a device that can store and hold Zygarde cells and cores, allowing you to transform Zygarde into its larger forms. Hamba entrusts the Zygarde cube to Zir and Konya. He tells them to use it to find Zygarde and then find Amethio without Spinel knowing. And this scene was remarkable, man. The way that Hamba knows that Zir and Konya were the first people that Amethio ever opened his heart up to. And for that reason, he fully trusts them too and gives them the Zygarde cube. That's so awesome. I love that Zir and Konya will clearly have a big role in the story ahead. They're such great characters. And yeah, I'm so happy that even a year after Amethio's disappearance, they're still allied with him. They're still loyal to him. And I think that Zir and Konya and Amethio, when they finally find him again, they'll probably use the Zygarde cube to unite all of the shiny Zygarde cells and cores. And then I bet Amethio will transform them into a Zygarde complete form at the end of the series, helping our heroes to stop Spinel and the Laqua once and for all. Dude, I can already see it in my head. Liko commanding Terrapagos, Roy commanding shiny Rayquaza, Amethio commanding shiny complete form Zygarde. It'll be so cool and Spinel will stand absolutely no chance. And man, I've gotta say, what an absolute relief that the Zygarde cube didn't exist back when Lysander was taking over Carlos. That would have been real bad news. I don't know if even Ashy Boy and our heroes could have stopped him. So yeah, overall, this episode was another banger from Mega Voltage. The insights we got from this one about Naruto, Dot's new role, and everything going on with Amethio, Zir, and Konya was so awesome. I enjoyed everything about this. The story was amazing, the character interactions were amazing, the battles were amazing. Everything was amazing, dude. I'm so glad this arc is keeping up the momentum and I can't wait to see where we go next. Let me know your thoughts on the episode in the comments, and consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed my review. That would really help me out a lot. Come join our Discord server to watch the new episodes live every week, and maybe consider becoming a channel member too if you really want to make my day. Don't you want these adorable little Pokeferlax emojis? Anyway, thank you so much to my amazing current channel members like Dowpals, Toten, Racco, San, Justcadia, Jay, Shiny Charm, Blazing Shots, Not Mini, Drew. You guys are absolute legends and I really appreciate you. And on that note, thank you all so much for watching and best wishes until we meet again.